Hello and welcome to the 14th day of December. Well, it's a beautiful day right here in Brisbane. Yes, it is quite sunny and it is looking beautifully out there. So if you're looking at Fahrenheit today, I'd say it's 77 degrees Fahrenheit. Try and convert that into our terms. Well, a little bit of exercise for you today. Well, right now, as I mentioned, it is beautiful and it is sunny out there. Well, right now, we have some wonderful news for you today. Well, let's begin with this wonderful news which comes 21 years after Laradata. Well, that's right. And Hamnaz Sandhu from Chandigarh has been crowned the Miss Universe. And of course, this story is breaking news and it is just amazing to find out. All we will bring to you like an interview and all her things that she has achieved. Well, all the way from Chandigarh where we studied, and it is wonderful that, and congratulations Hamnaz Sandhu on being crowned the Miss Universe. And isn't that amazing? 21 years later, meaning the last Miss Universe from India was Laradata, 21 years back. Well, right now, moving on. Borders are opening, so what does that mean for us?
But WA has chosen a much more cautious approach. Do you think it's been worth it, particularly as we're watching these scenes in Queensland of a reopening?
It depends on what you mean by worth it. I think for those in WA, I think they've felt very much in the comfort zone, not having to face COVID. And, having been in South Australia, being the first state to actually open up on purpose to COVID has actually been quite an interesting journey because, it's a really half-empty proposition. You're actually inviting something in which you don't necessarily have to. And the government has actually had to run a very, very tight line. It's a leap of faith, and they've had to run a very tight line, especially with Omicron being the spanner in the works, of making sure that they can control the outbreaks and, under the Doherty playbook, but also at the same time not make sure that the restrictions are so tight that they're actually going to, make things worse for the population than they felt was before.
Why wait until next year to open the border? I know you frame it as why would you invite it, if you didn't have to, but I suppose the counter to that is you eventually do have to. You just kind of prolong the misery, don't you?
Well, having said that, you do have the advantage of actually at that stage having a even higher vaccination rate to a level where potentially it's much harder for COVID to run through the community. By that stage, you'll probably have, because the vaccinations are opening to children early next year, you'll actually have some children being vaccinated. You can see a lot of the outbreaks are actually occurring in schools in the eastern states. And the other thing you get to do, which is really get to watch and make sure that this Omicron variant is not a major threat, which everybody at the moment is kind of scrambling. South Australia got caught in the middle of this because they opened up and they got caught with the Omicron strain and kind of were caught, in between really as to what to do. But, you do get a chance to watch this play out, and so there is some advantage in doing that.
Queensland has reopened its border. Do you think this has been handled well, or do you have any concerns about the way it will play out?
Look, I don't think everything was always going to look a bit half-empty when you open up. That's what it's felt like in South Australia. It's kind of like, we've been living in this comfort zone and it's been lovely, actually. You really has. We've actually been doing the right things here, wearing masks and things like that overall. But to actually open up has actually invited more hassles. We've actually faced the fear of cases for the first time, which I know in New South Wales and Victoria, it's been like, well, it's just another case. But for us here, it's quite a big deal. And to get that mindset, which the Doherty modelling is all about, to change it from cases to number of people getting sick in hospital is actually quite a big leap of faith and quite a hard thing for people to accept. And so even in South Australia at the moment, I'll give you an example, the change to quarantine requirements for 14 days, even for vaccinated people for Omicron contacts, has actually been quite imposition, and a lot of people have been really upset about that because, it's that balancing of, on the one hand, making sure you don't lose control, but also making sure you don't strangle things so much that it's actually worse than it was before, and people are wondering why the hell we opened up in the first place.
Well, why the hell did we open up in the first place? And Queensland is open. So, let's look at some of the changes that have been implemented by South Australia.
Large queues and long wait times greeted South Australians trying to get a COVID-19 test. New exposure sites
as
and
you can
rising
see,
daily
queues
case numbers have
which
added
are
to the
lining
testing
up
load.
like anything. We will have a look at New South Wales in a minute as well, and same scenario there as well.
Go into this next phase of the disease.
It's not known if any of the 13 cases are the new Omicron variant of concern.
Well, having said that, let's go to New South Wales and have a quick look at what's happening in New South Wales.
Clubbing has come at a cost, and now Newcastle is on alert.
Personally, haven't been going out to nightclubs for this reason, and we'll just have to wait and see what happens as the numbers roll out.
It's not great. I just hope that everyone can spend time with their families at Christmas and not be stuck in lockdown.
60 more people who were at Argyle House on Wednesday night have COVID. That takes the total to 84 cases, and many are likely to be infected with the Omicron variant. Close to 700 people were there that night, and all have been ordered to isolate.
Everyone is out and about. The general consensus was that we'll pass this. Everyone was vaccinated. We're on our way. So I think there's maybe a bit of an air of disappointment.
The outbreak has also impacted other venues along the popular strip.
Very disappointing. We've closed today as a matter of precaution, only for the fact that one of our staff members has come up positive.
There have now been 64 cases of the Omicron strain in the state, 9 are new today. But the majority of cases are still the Delta variant. 536 new infections of COVID have been recorded overall.
Well, right now it's time to go to Western Australia and see what's happening there.
Saturday, February 5 is the date that Western Australia's hard borders will finally become a thing of the past after 2 years of championing what he called an island within an island approach to mitigating COVID-19. Mark McGowan now says that WA can safely reopen to the outside world. On that date, on February 5, international and domestic arrivals will be able to enter WA without needing to quarantine. It won't be quite back to how things were. There will be still be some pretty strict testing requirements in terms of having to test negative for COVID before departure and then on arrival into WA. But certainly a very big step back towards normal life here in WA. Now, Mark McGowan admits it will be a very significant change, having spent the best part of 2 years trying to keep COVID out, but he's confident that the state is ready.
The health advice is clear. We can safely ease our border controls and reconnect WA. I'm confident that this is the right time and the right way to take this important step. Western Australia's current zero COVID environment and high vaccination rate will help deliver the softest landing to minimise the impact of the virus when it enters our state and to keep Western Australians safe for the long term.
Jacob, some restrictions will be put in place come February.
Yeah, that's right. In terms of domestic restrictions, Mark McGowan says some will be reintroduced, but he's tried to keep those to a minimum. So, for example, masks will return in more settings. They'll be required on public transport, in taxis and ride shares, visitors to hospitals and that sort of thing. The unvaccinated will be banned from nightclubs, the casino, major stadium, sporting events, or any event with more than 1,000 people. So there will be some restrictions return, but it won't be what the government had warned about in terms of, widespread, very significant restrictions being in place. There won't be capacity limits or things like that. Although there could be stricter restrictions in some regional areas where the vaccination rate is much, much lower. Any region that doesn't get to at least an 80% vaccination rate by that reopening date on the 5th of February, they will face additional restrictions such as banning the unvaccinated from pubs and restaurants and cafes and the like. So there will be some new restrictions, but Mark McGowan says he's done his best to limit those as much as possible.
Jacob.
So, yes, with limited restrictions, Western Australia is opening up. Well, still ahead of us, we have the very beautiful winter interview coming up. Are people still afraid to go to the airport? So what's happening with that? And we'll be joined by Adam Pay right here in the studios to talk about that. we'll also bring you glimpses of Presence Chess, which is Pastor John Thomas and the congregation from the weekend. An amazing function there. I'll bring a glimpse of my speech there as well. So that's coming up. And of course, we have the Daily India report yet to come. But first of all, we'd like to bring to you a sad news, a condolence message, the death news. दुख के साथ सूचित किया जाता है कि 21 पटुमना स्ट्रीट ब्रेकन रिज ब्रिस्बेन निवासी मधुप कुमार के पत्नी और अविन एल्विन एवं जेसिका कुमार के माताजी श्रीमती चंद्रा कुमारी के देहांत 10 दिसंबर को हो गया। मृतक का अंतिम संस्कार गुरुवार 15 दिसंबर को ओल्बनी क्रीक क्रीमेटोरियम 400 ओल्बनी क्रीक रोड पर शाम 12:30 बजे किया जाएगा। 3 दिवसीय हवन यज्ञ का भी अनुष्ठान किया गया है। 15, 16 और 17 तारीख को शाम 7 बजे से 21 पट्यूमना स्ट्रीट ब्रेकन रिज पर। ज्यादा जानकारी के लिए आप जेस कुमार को 0422414668 या अविन को 0466334782 पर संपर्क कर सकते हैं।
मालिक तेरे बंदे हम ऐसे हो हमारे करम, नीति पर चले और बदी से चले ताकि हंसते हुए निकले दम। है मालिक तेरे बंदे हम।
दुख के साथ सूचित किया जाता है कि 21 पटुमना स्ट्रीट ब्रेकन रिज ब्रिस्बेन निवासी मधुप कुमार के पत्नी और अविन एल्विन एवं जेसिका कुमार के माताजी श्रीमती चंद्रा कुमारी के देहांत 10 दिसंबर को हो गया। मृतक का अंतिम संस्कार गुरुवार 15 दिसंबर को ओल्बनी क्रीक क्रीमेटोरियम 400 ओल्बनी क्रीक रोड पर शाम 12:30 बजे किया जाएगा। 3 दिवसीय हवन यज्ञ का भी अनुष्ठान किया गया है। 15, 16 और 17 तारीख को शाम 7 बजे से 21 पट्यूमना स्ट्रीट ब्रेकन रिज पर। ज्यादा जानकारी के लिए आप जेस कुमार को 0422414668 या अविन को 0466334782 पर संपर्क कर सकते हैं।
मालिक तेरे बंदे हम ऐसे हो हमारे करम।
And ladies and gentlemen, with that news, we move on to our interview for today. And of course, to the interview for today, we will be joining in via phone with Adam Pay. Well, Aussies avoid airports and hit the roads for taste of freedom. As we know, border restrictions are coming to a close and Aussies are excited to get outdoors. So yes, hit the open road and put the classic road trip tunes on full blast. New research reveals 7 out of 10, meaning 69%, Aussies are likely to go on a road trip in the next 6 months, with their car representing and reclaiming of their travel freedoms and reconnection with loved ones. Whether it's a quick weekend trip or an overdue holiday to see the country, more Australians are now opting for the road trips instead of air travel. So, with 1 in 4, meaning 26% Aussies considering driving somewhere that would normally not, it's clear we are looking to see the expanse of the open road rather than be up in the skies. Yes, that is the way things are going to be. And Adam Pay is the managing director of My Car stores nationally. Following his 15 years at My Car, with the last 7 as managing director, Adam is responsible for overseeing the company growth and implementing company policy. Adam has been a National Council member for the Australian Automotive Aftermarket Association, not only AA, AAA, IAAA, for the last 5 years, where he is currently still a member. So let's welcome to the show. Yes, welcome to the show, Adam, and it's always good to have you on the show. Adam. Yes, Adam, once again, welcome to the show. It's wonderful to have you on the show.
Thank you very much indeed.
Well, right now, why are Aussies more interested in taking a road trip rather than flying in this current circumstances?
The new research from My Car Tyre and Auto revealed 7 out of 10 Australians are likely to go on a road trip in the next 6 months. As using their car enables them to reclaim the travel freedoms and connect with loved ones again. That said, only 16% of Aussies consider the types of tyres they need before hitting the road and put road trip itineraries above ensuring the car's road ready.
Well, that is a bit of a trying thing because, people really need to be sure that the cars are all ready to go and all the things that... So how do cars symbolize freedom and empowerment?
As Aussies look forward to enjoying summer holidays and spending time with family and friends, the research suggests the way we travel will look very different this season, with 1 in 4 considering driving somewhere they'd normally fly. So whether it's a quick weekend trip or an overdue holiday, our cars provide both flexibility and a level of assurance for travellers. The ability to simply pack up and hit the road is what many find appealing over the hassle of air travel.
Well, correct, yes, and like the good old days, we used to just pack everything in and off we go. So, of course, that symbolizes freedom and empowerment.
As a nation, Australians are very connected to their cars, and the ability to embark on road travel post-lockdown means they can reconnect with the things they love and make new memories along the way. So with border restrictions around the country beginning to lift, 7 out of 10 Australians will use their car to enjoy travel freedoms in the next year. This will make for a summer of road trips and reunions. Getting back on the open road is on the horizon for Australians, making them feel empowered and free again.
Right, yeah, and that is what will happen. I'm quite sure, Adam, you've rightfully said there. So, now that this is going to happen and we know lots of Aussies will be hitting the road very, very soon, what should they do and what sort of advice would you have for them to, have things checked up? But amongst everything, tyres.
For Aussies looking to plan their journeys on the open road, it's essential to ensure you have safe, quality tyres wherever the road's going to take you. Your tyres are the only contact your vehicle has with the road, so it's crucial that you have the right ones to suit your vehicle as well as how and where you drive your car. Some of my tips for checking tyres would be make sure you check your tyres for visible damage that may have occurred, whether you've driven over a pothole, hit a curb or even driven over a nail. And you want to make sure that you have suitable tyres for the type of trip you're going on. Also make sure you check the tyre pressures before you head off. Then check your tread by looking for the tread wear indicators. They're the small blocks inside the grooves which indicate a safe tread level. Ensure that the tread level is higher than the block. And then before you head off, you can pop into one of the My Car stores. So one of our friendly technicians can ensure your car's road ready to keep you safe on the road.
Well, that is very, very important. That's a very, good piece of advice there, Adam, because the last thing you want is you pack everything, everyone gets excited. After a long time, you're getting away and only to end up on the side of the road with a flat tire or something like that, which could be avoided by running those checks that you have just mentioned. Well, of course, there's only so much we can cover on this interview. Moving forward, where can people go and find more information on this topic?
Well, to help prepare for the road travel this summer, Aussies can book a service via the My Car website to ensure their car's road ready. And to learn more about My Car's tyre options, visit the My Car website or give your local store a call on 13 13 28.
Well, that is wonderful because, and that's a very wonderful piece of advice there, viewers and listeners, because if you are hitting the road, get your car checked up. You don't want to be ended up, with impatient kids and everyone. Are we nearly there? And then you stuck on the side of the road while everyone else is passing by. Of course, there is help available, but you don't want to go through that hassles. Pre-plan and do that. So, Adam, once again, wonderful to be, joining us on the show and sharing that valuable information with us.
Absolute pleasure. Thank you.
And thank you very much. So that was Adam Pay from Micah. And as per his advice, please do get your cars checked up before you hit that road. Well, right now it's time to go to our Daily India report. And with that, we'd like to welcome Ankita. And of course, as we know, Tuesday through till Saturday, we have the Daily India report.
Welcome to the Daily India report that brings you glimpses of the changing India and the growing engagement of the Indian diaspora with India. In our first story, India remembers attack on Indian Parliament 20 years ago. President of India and Prime Minister pay tributes to the fallen on the day marking the 20th anniversary of a foiled terrorist attack on Indian Parliament. President Ramnath Kovind, Prime Minister Narendra Modi and others paid rich tributes to those who lost their lives in the 2001 Parliament attack for their service to the nation and supreme sacrifice. President Kovind said that brave security personnel laid down their lives on this day to defend the Indian Parliament, the world's largest democracy, against a dastardly terrorist attack. He said the nation shall forever remain grateful to martyrs for their supreme sacrifice. Prime Minister Narendra Modi said the service of security personnel to the nation and supreme sacrifice continues to inspire every citizen. On 13 December 2001, Parliament, the supreme legislative body of India, witnessed a dastardly terror attack that shook the conscience of the country to its core. The horror is still fresh in the minds of the people of the country. 5 terrorists of the Pakistan-based militant groups Lashkar-e-Taiba and Jaish-e-Mohammed infiltrated the premises in a white ambassador bearing fake stickers of the Home Ministry and Parliament itself. Carrying AK-47 rifles, grenade launchers, pistols and grenades, the terrorists breached through security cordons deployed around the Parliament complex. As they further drove the car inside, one of the staff members, Constable Kamlesh Kumari Yadav, became suspicious of their movement. In just 72 hours, the special cell of the Delhi police cracked the case and arrested 4 people, Mohammad Afzal Guru, Shaukat Hussain, Afzal Guru and Saar Gilani. 2 among them were acquitted while Afzal Guru was hanged in Delhi's Tihar jail in February 2013. India's Harnaaz Sandhu brings home the Miss Universe crown after 21 years. India's Harnaaz Sandhu from Chandigarh is the new Miss Universe 2021. She is crowned 21 years after Lara Datta won the title in 2000. Miss Sandhu represented India at the 70th Miss Universe 2021 held in Eilat, Israel. The 21-year-old from Punjab claimed the crown, edging out Paraguay's Nadia Ferreira and South Africa's Lalela Miswane. Sandhu was crowned by the outgoing Miss Universe, Andrea Meza of Mexico, at a glittering ceremony held on 12 December night at the Universe Dome in Eilat, Israel. She edged out Paraguay's Nadia Ferreira and South Africa's Lalela Miswane. This is India's 3rd crown after Sushmita Sen in 1994 and Lara Datta in 2000.
Many people think climate change is a hoax. What would you do to convince them otherwise?
Honestly, my heart breaks to see how nature is going through a lot of problems, and it's all due to our irresponsible behavior. And I totally feel that this is the time to take actions and talk less, because each action could either kill or save nature. Prevent and protect is better than repent and repair, and this is what I'm trying to convince you guys today.
Sandhu's final statement at the pageant was about the pressures that young people face across societies today. She said the biggest pressure the youth of today is facing is to believe in themselves, to know that you are unique and that's what makes you beautiful. Sandhu, whose mother is a gynecologist, has a number of pageant titles to her name, such as Times Fresh Face Miss Chandigarh 2017, Miss Max Emerging Star India 2018, and Femina Miss India Punjab 2019. She has also starred in Punjabi films. India evacuates 104 people from Afghanistan, sends medical supplies on the return flight to Kabul. Under Operation Dev Shakti, the government of India evacuated 94 Afghans and 10 Indians from Afghanistan on 10th December 2021. The special flight chartered by the government arrived at the international airport in Delhi. The 104 evacuees included members from minority communities in Afghanistan. They carried with them 2 copies of the Sikh holy book Guru Granth Sahib and some ancient Hindu manuscripts. On the return flight that left Delhi for Kabul on 11 December, The Indian government dispatched humanitarian aid consisting of medical supplies for the people of Afghanistan in light of the challenging situation in the country. The medicines will be handed over to the representatives of the World Health Organization in Kabul and will be administered at the Indira Gandhi Children's Hospital in the city. Under Operation Devi Shakti, a total of 669 people have been evacuated from Afghanistan by India since the Taliban takeover. This comprises 448 Indians and 206 Afghans and also includes members of the Afghan Hindu and Sikh minority communities. More than 500 people, including 438 Indians, were evacuated from Afghanistan in the month of August when the Taliban took control of the country. India's sixth foreign policy planning dialogue discusses quotidian diplomacy. On Friday, 10th December, India chaired the sixth foreign policy planning dialogue under the BRICS 2021 in a virtual format. According to the Ministry of External Affairs statement, the Director, Policy Planning Division, MEA, presided over the dialogue. The participants during the dialogue held discussions over the global landscape, multilateral system, and quotidian diplomacy. The sixth Foreign Policy Planning Dialogue was attended by the heads of foreign policy planning units of BRICS countries. During the dialogue, the participants discussed key issues that have changed the global landscape. They also exchanged views on the effect of global landscape. The participants also exchanged views on the reform of the multilateral system. Apart from issues of quotidian diplomacy, the heads of foreign policy planning units of BRICS countries also discussed other key topics. During the dialogue, the BRICS members also shared the practices that they have implemented in their respective foreign policy planning units. Notably, the BRICS group comprises 5 countries that include Brazil, Russia, India, China and South Africa. On 9 September, Prime Minister Narendra Modi chaired the 13th BRICS Summit themed BRICS at 15 Intra-BRICS Cooperation for Continuity, Consolidation and Consensus. In the virtual summit, leaders from the member countries discussed several issues including the COVID-19 pandemic, developments in Afghanistan and terrorism. The summit was attended by Brazilian President Jair Bolsonaro, President Vladimir Putin of Russia, Chinese President Xi Jinping and President Cyril Ramaphosa of South Africa. Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated the prestigious Kashi Vishwanath Corridor in Varanasi. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi has inaugurated the Kashi Vishwanath Corridor in Varanasi, Uttar Pradesh on 13 December. Modi said it was his long-standing dream to create an easily accessible pathway connecting the Kashi Vishwanath temple to the banks of the Ganga river. Modi offered prayers at the Kashi Vishwanath Dham temple in his parliamentary constituency Varanasi after taking holy dip in Ganges and paying obeisance to the sun. The project is spread across a massive 5 lakh square feet with over 40 ancient temples restored and beautified. As many as 23 new buildings were constructed to provide diverse facilities for the devotees. Over 3,000 seers, artistes and other noted personalities are assembled at the venue to witness the inauguration. To spread the massive environmental protection, the newly constructed Kashi Vishwanath corridor will be adorned by Rudraksh, Bel, Parijat, Amla and Ashok trees. Special arrangements have been made for planting the trees all across the temple premises and Mandir Chowk. Indian cricket team to undergo 3-day quarantine before flying to South Africa. The Indian team will undergo a 3-day quarantine before taking off for South Africa. It is learned that the members of the South Africa-bound squad have been asked to check into a 5-star hotel near the Mumbai International Airport by 12 December to fulfill the biosecurity protocols. The team will leave for Johannesburg on 16 December by charter flight. India will play 3 tests and 3 ODIs, but at this point in time, only the members of the test squad will fly to South Africa. Navdeep Saini, Saurabh Kumar, Deepak Chahar, Arzan Nagwaswalam, Hanuma Vihari and Vivek Ramakrishna, a trainer, all members of India A squad that just returned from a 3-game series in Bloemfontein have stayed back in South Africa. They are either part of the touring party or players who have been drafted as standbys. The incident-free A tour to South Africa has emboldened the Board of Control for Cricket in India and the members for travelling to the country that is reeling under Omicron, a new and deadlier variant of COVID-19. The CSA has also promised to leave nothing to chance on the implementation of BSE protocols. The first of the 3 tests starts in Centurion on the 26th of December. Wanderers in Johannesburg and Newlands in Cape Town will host the other 2 tests. Indian hip-hop star Raja Kumari's new single, Get It In, is released. After many hit tracks including City Slums, US and Firestarter, Indian rapper Raja Kumari has come up with a new single, Get It In.
They saying I'm the one, I already won, running a marathon, I'm holding the baton, female she Michael Jordan, Indian American, I'm ringing the alarm, bass dropping like a bomb, I'm like a pill to swallow, I got them sick and body.
For those who shine their light in the dark. Penned by Sanjoy, Elvis Brown and Grammy Award-winning songwriter Sira, the new single highlights living each day like it's the last.
Say what you want, don't forget the plot, let's live life like it's the last day. Here we go.
Talking about the single, Raja Kumari said this song is about a battle between good and evil in your own mind and being fearless in the face of any obstacle but having fun and living in joy. Kumari said she has admired people who have overcome hurdles and held their own when it seemed impossible. Presented by Mass Appeal USA, Get It In is available on all streaming platforms. That's all for this bulletin of Daily India Report. Thank you for watching.
Thank you very much, Ankita, for that report. And ladies and gentlemen, that's about all we have time for you today. Don't forget that tomorrow morning we have the news update and then, of course, the real estate update with Usha Chandra right here on this channel. Until then, it's goodbye from us.